I remember I woke up and got in the shower to take my shower, do a shampoo, and I couldn't breathe enough I had to get out of the shower before I even got the soap out of my hair. And that really scared me.
Struggling out of the shower and short of breath, Jean Ramos got into her car and drove to her doctor's office in nearby Creston, Iowa.
And I did something that I had never done before in my entire life. I parked in a handicapped parking place without a sticker or anything.
Inside the clinic, she collapsed on the couch.
They asked me if I was all right, but of course, I'm proud, and I just simply, I'm fine.
Jean has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or C.O.P.D., a term referring to two lung diseases, chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Her problems began like they do for an estimated 85% of those afflicted with C.O.P.D., with a smoking habit.
I smoked for 30 years. I quit in 1992. At the time, I was also pretty heavy, and besides that, I also have type 2 diabetes, and I really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, frankly, to either one of those. I was just kind of living my life and kind of going along. Right. There's the cake.
Jean says she spent 3 days in the hospital. There, she underwent a treatment regimen of steroids, antibiotics, bronchodilators, and oxygen.
And I made the mistake at that point of asking my doctor, how do I fix this? But he kind of looked at me and he said, well, Jean, if you'd lose some weight, because I was almost 300 pounds at that point, if you'd lose some weight, a lot of your problems will get better. They aren't going to go away, but they will get better. And something in the way he said it or the way he looked, he swears up and down that he didn't mean it this way, but I perceived that he didn't think I either could or would. Well, I was mad and I was scared. And those two things really are pretty powerful motivators.
It's estimated there's about 12 million people in the United States with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, but that probably underestimates the total numbers. There may be as many as twice as many individuals with this disorder. It currently is the fourth killer in the United States, and it's estimated by 2020 it'll be the third killer.
Deep breath.
Today, half of COPD patients are under 65, and it has become increasingly a disease of women, a reflection of their increased smoking in previous decades. In 2000, for the first time, more women than men died or were hospitalized for the disease. It's a message not lost on Jean Ramos, who now works out every day.
I do 2 sets of 12 of those and 2 sets of knee raises. Now I have to recover for probably longer than most people because I get winded and I've got to catch my breath and get back to the point where I can breathe again.
While COPD is incurable, it is not untreatable. Treatments often include anti-inflammation medicines, drugs to open the airways, and antibiotics for infections. Some need oxygen, and many need dietary advice. And in extreme situations, some patients benefit from surgery to remove diseased sections of lung.
Your oxygen's good.
But above all, people with COPD need exercise.
Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, there was a question, does physical rehabilitation help patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease? Now we no longer ask ourselves this question.
Neil Schachter is the medical director of the pulmonary rehab program at Mount Sinai in New York City.
We know that as a result of this, endurance improves. Their symptoms get better. We're able to let them lead more productive lives, do more with what they have.
Patients with trouble breathing often think they are just out of shape and don't realize they have COPD. This is one of the reasons that COPD is often underdiagnosed.
Okay, deep breath in. Deep, 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 deep. Blast it out.
But the test for COPD is a simple procedure known as spirometry, shown here in Dr. Crystal's office at the Weill Cornell Medical Center in Manhattan. Even though these tests are easy to perform and recommended for high-risk patients, many doctors don't bother. Some say that smoking is considered such an intractable addiction that they felt helpless to do anything about it. This brings up another, more daunting issue that many COPD sufferers face: stigma.
They feel a bit guilty because they brought it on themselves in a way because they smoke cigarettes.
I tell people I have emphysema. And very often the first question that somebody will ask is, did you smoke? And yes, I did. Smoked for 30 years. But I quit in 1992. And I guess my feeling is that, yeah, obviously what I did probably did have a great deal to do with my getting this disease in the first place.
Hooked on exercise, Jean Ramos sticks to her daily workout with a vigor and commitment that she realizes may be out of reach of many with COPD. Her lungs will never return to normal, but she is striving to live a full and independent life.
I guess I've come to realize that I have to do this. If I'm going to keep my energy level up and continue to work and live the way I want to live, then I have to do this. There just isn't any choice.